because of
radical Islam?
There are a variety of reasons why I think people have taken these actions. There are a variety of reasons why people do these things. We see, say, radical Islam. I mean, I think those people who espouse a version of Islam that is not...
Are you uncomfortable attributing any of their actions to radical Islam? It sounds like...
No, I don't want to say anything negative about a religion.
Could radical Islam have motivated these individuals to take the steps that they did?
I certainly think that it's possible that people who espouse a radical version of Islam have had an ability to have an impact on people like Mr. Shahzad.
You got to be kidding me. This is, I mean, I played that for you last week, but then on Friday, I remembered why this bothered me so much, because I've seen this before. I remembered a tape of David Horowitz recently at the University of California, San Diego, with a member of the Muslim Student Alliance. Look at this.
Will you condemn Hamas here and now?
I'm sorry, what?
Will you condemn Hamas?
Would I condemn Hamas?
As a terrorist organ, genocidal organization?
Are you asking me to put myself on a cross?
So you won't?
If I support Hamas, because your question forces me to condemn Hamas. If I support Hamas, I look really bad.
If you won't condemn Hamas, obviously you support it. Case closed. I'm a Jew. The head of Hezbollah has said that he hopes that we will gather in Israel so he doesn't have to hunt us down globally. For it or against it?
For it.
I'm not comparing their sensibilities or ideology, but the tactic seems unavoidably similar, doesn't it? Eric Holder, no one will say anything negative about radical Islam. We know that the vast majority of Islam is peaceful. Wasn't that the point? The point is that Eric Holder couldn't identify radical Islam when pressed on it hard. And the president seems to have the same problem. So now why is the president and Eric Holder considering dropping Miranda rights for American citizens? Why? Why is our Supreme Court nominee Elena Kagan, who recently testified that authorities should be able to scoop Americans off the street, hold them indefinitely without a trial if they support a terrorist organization? And yet, wasn't it the president during his campaign that he frequently invoked this?
If there's an Arab American family being rounded up without benefit of an attorney or due process, that threatens my civil liberties.
Okay, but this, now it doesn't, all of a sudden. First of all, I will have the family that was rounded up. I don't care what religion you are. I'll stand with you. Rounded up without due process? But for some reason, he was extremely concerned about it then. What happened to due process now with all of the people in your organization? Well, I brought up one plausible scenario this weekend that I think Americans must consider. I hope you reject it, but you should at least consider it because something's not right here. Here's a clip from my speech to the NRA this weekend. God forbid there's another Timothy McVeigh. And God forbid that guy has in his wallet an NRA card. Now, have you donated to the NRA? I have. Have you? If they find that, could they make the case that this is a terrorist organization? And that you are funding a terrorist organization? I know they damn well try with me. And suspend my right to a fair trial? Hell no! Something isn't right here. Again, I start right where I end where we started. Nothing is what it seems to be. Watch the other hand. Be careful of what you wish for. The terrorist in question, in an out-of-control government, in an out-of-control situation, might just be you. Right back. story we've been talking about involving a group of government insiders who stand to make money off of cap and trade in a big way if legislation passes. One of the players, strangely, is this man, Franklin Raines. He was the former CEO of Fannie Mae. He left the company in 2004 after he knowingly inflated earnings by $9 billion. Why? So everybody could get their bonuses. Raines, when he was a CEO, he and a couple of other Fannie executives also did something very strange. Applied for patents on residential admissions trading program. Now, why would Fannie Mae and Franklin Raines care about cap and trade? That's what my next guest wants to know. Representative Jason Chaffetz of Utah sits on the Committee of Oversight and Government Reform. He joins me now from Salt Lake City. Jason, you and Representative Issa filed for records to be produced. I think it was on Friday. Thank you for standing for this. Can you tell me why would Fannie own cap and trade technology?
What I do know is there are billions upon billions of dollars at play, and why would they use those resources in a cap and trade scheme that they would personally benefit from? And what sort of money is trading hands when Franklin Raines then assigns that patent to Fannie and Freddie? This does not smell right. They have 2 patents out there, and we want to know about them. Okay,
there's the Fannie technology. We couldn't file a Freedom of Information Act request.
Yeah.
Can't do it. And it's awfully, it's great for Fannie. Can you explain why we couldn't file that Freedom of Information Act?
Well, we've requested information, but because they're a government-sponsored enterprise, a GSE, they fall outside the scope of a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act. And I think this is fundamentally wrong. In fact, you have Judicial Watch, one of the watchdog groups, filing suit against Fannie and Freddie, wanting information about where all their campaign contributions went and whatnot. Mm-hmm. The Obama administration has come back now and actually argued in court in the last 60 days or so and said, no, you do not have the right to that information because they're not a full-fledged government entity, even though we're on the hook for literally hundreds of billions of dollars. Right. So we're trying to get the information, but I see what the Obama administration is arguing, and Judicial Watch hasn't been able to get that information.
Can you guys get are you going to be able to get the information as congressman? Can you get the information?
I'm not that optimistic, but if we need to change the law, we're going to write a law to change the law. But right now, as it stands, we're going to
Here's the thing.
Have a tough time.
This is a mortgage company. All they're supposed to do, that's their charter, to do mortgages. Yeah. They've got, I think, 4 patents out. They all are around cap and trade, but this is residential. When you think of cap and trade, you think, okay, so Exxon has to pay some more money for cap and trade. No. This is your individual house, correct?
Yeah, they even have a patent. There's another patent we found that actually puts a lock on your individual outlet. It is literally, they have a patent for this, to lock your individual outlet so that they can control the mechanism by which you lock that little outlet. It's unbelievable.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. We'll talk again. America,
Thanks, Ben.
Do you remember when we talked about cap and trade? Do you remember when we talked about, what is that power thing that we talked about? The smart grid. Yeah. Why would you need a lock on your outlet? For your own home. For more on Crime Inc., go to glennbeck.com. Get the latest information on this story. This is big, and we need your help. Back in a minute. Tomorrow is a very special show. This administration is now using religion as a political vehicle for social justice and socialism, something I've taken a lot of heat for in the churches. And I told you months ago, you have to know the difference between social justice the way a lot of churches mean it and social justice the way the Marxists mean it. Your church is... there's a chance it's been infiltrated and it's got some nasty things, and now they're merging the EPA with faith. It is time for religious leaders to take a stand. Joined tomorrow by some of the most respected religious leaders and historians to figure out what needs to be done. Tell your friends, tell your pastor or your rabbi or your priest tomorrow night. Don't miss it. If you'd like to see the entire NRA keynote that I did on Saturday or the commencement speech at Liberty University, it's available now at glennbeck.com for Insider Extreme members. Sign up now, find out all the information, and watch it online right now. From New York, good night, America.